I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be attract women, wealth, and what you want. We're going to talk a little bit about the law of attraction. I'm sure you've probably seen some of these videos where you can basically sit in your bedroom all day. These things have been really popular the past few years. Oprah was into them. And some of them kind of give you the impression you can just fucking sit in your bedroom and meditate and basically zen out, and magically a fucking BMW will appear in your driveway. Well, it's not really how things work, but one of the things that's very counterintuitive about what I talk about in my book is pretty much a lot of the behaviors and things that I tell you to do or that I suggest that you do are counterintuitive. They go against what you know, but the bottom line and why you're reading a book like mine or reading a website is because 9 times out of 10, the reason being is what you were doing wasn't working, and so you are looking to change your approach and try something different. That's one of the keys to success in life, is to realize and recognize that when you're doing something and that something is not working, that you need to change your approach. Great entrepreneurs are always said to be slow to change their mind about what it is that they want to create or build, but we're always very quick to change our approach when something isn't working. And so when I look at guys that either aren't achieving the success in their relationships or meeting the kind of women that they want, or getting laid, or having good relationships, or starting the business they've always wanted to start, or to get the job that they've always wanted to get. I'll give you an example. I've got a client I was talking to earlier today, and we were talking about this. And he's been trying to get a job in law enforcement. And he's a combat-tested, experienced veteran. He's got the Purple Heart. He got wounded by an RPG. And he's got, I guess, what's considered a 20% disability because he's got a piece of shrapnel in his arm. Now, he can still function, lift weights, and do everything like normal, but obviously, as far as how he's rated, he's 20% what they call disability, and obviously he gets a check for every day the rest of his life from the U.S. government for what he left on the battlefield, the part of himself that he left there, so to speak. And so he's been going and applying to different law enforcement agencies, and you'd be thinking that a guy like this, they'd be lining up around the block to hire him, but he's been really struggling to get a job. And he's tried with the fire department, and the thing I said to him, I said, look, you're so fixated on this one way of getting into law enforcement because he loves helping people and he loves protecting people. He eventually wants to become a canine cop. And so I sent him an article that I came across earlier in the week about working in the private sector, private security, being bodyguards to celebrities, CEOs of companies, taking care of wealthy families, those kinds of things, where you basically set your own hours and you can make anywhere from $750 to $1,500 a day. And I mean, you're hanging out with obviously different, obviously if you're working as a cop, I mean, basically entry level, he's looking somewhere around $25,000 a year. And if you got into private, I'm not talking about working as a mall cop or anything like that. I'm talking about private security where you got the earpiece and you're usually working in teams and you're basically protecting very wealthy, successful people and their families. And just being around people like this that are high income, high net worth people, that in and of itself is going to expose you to things and people and opportunities that you're not normally going to see when you're working in law enforcement. And I told him, I said, I'm not telling you to stop trying to get a job in law enforcement and becoming a police officer. I mean, I think he's been turned down by 6 or 7 different departments and agencies at this point. I said, but what I am telling you to do is to change your approach because what you're doing is not working. And that's where he's running into basically beating his head against the wall, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And when it comes to attracting the kind of women you want in your life, a big thing that I teach guys is to recognize the difference between when a woman has interest in you, when she's showing indicators of interest, and when she has no romantic interest in you. Because a big part of the problem why I was so unsuccessful when I was younger, and pretty much all the guys that come to me, is that we get fixated on one particular woman. She's either unavailable or she's turned us down. Maybe she's in a relationship or this is somebody that we're just friends with. And so we become totally fixated on waiting for an opportunity to become available with that one particular person. And when we do that, what we actually do is we put ourselves in a little mind prison, and because of our thoughts and our beliefs, our irrational fears, we stay focused on what we can't have, and our brain literally blocks out all of the opportunities and all of the beautiful women and all of the career opportunities and the success that we want. It's called what's called a scotoma. When your limiting belief or your irrational fear is so strong that it literally becomes overwhelming, and even though your eyes perceive what's around you and what's there, because of your belief system, your brain just completely blocks it out, and when it's filtering down the data to present to you, it just blocks that one out and it ignores it like it's not there. And so what I teach guys to do that are in these situations, whether they're struggling with women, or they're struggling with their business, they're struggling with their career, is to take a step back and to change their approach, and to point out, it's like, hey dude, you're trying to swim upstream, and when you try to swim upstream, all you're going to do is wear yourself out and drown. But instead, go with the flow, go with the current, because when you go with the current, that's when you realize and notice all of the opportunities that are all along the way, because you got to become involved and move in life. And then that's when you see that there are opportunities there. And when you see the opportunities, you got to obviously take advantage of them when they show up. And I was talking to him because when I first started working with him, he was in a total dry spell and he wasn't succeeding with women. And it took a couple of months, but and I've been working with him for quite some time. He's getting laid all the time and he's meeting women all the time. And I said, you're really not having to do jack shit about setting dates with these women. They're basically calling and pursuing him. And he said, yeah, you're right. I'm not really having to do a whole hell of a lot other than when they contact him, because now what he's done is he's reprogrammed his mind to only interact with women who show and indicators of interest, flipping the hair, asking him personal questions, standing too close to him, touching his arm. Those are the kinds of things that a woman does when she has physical interest, and plus she's available. And so by focusing on interacting only with women that initially give indicators of romantic interest in you, these women already like you to start. And so when you do everything right with them, then usually after just one date, they're going to start texting and contacting you because you've made them feel so safe and comfortable. And so he's realized that his success that he's having with women is getting easier and easier as time goes by. But yet even today there was an example of one where he's doing too much bantering and too much back and forth instead of just getting right to the point when she's contacted him. And what I reminded him of is that when women contact you, they're basically letting you know that I want you, I want to see you. Sometimes they come right out and say it. And sometimes now some of the women that he meets, before he even has a chance to give them a call to set up a date, they're already texting him and going, hey, what's going on? What are you up to this weekend? Trying to facilitate and make it easy for him to create a date, or what I like to call an opportunity for sex to happen. And so you got to let go of your attachments. You got to let go of the way you think things should be, or the way you think things should show up in your life. Because when you become fixated on how things should be, you totally get in the way of the universe and women giving you exactly what it is that you want. Put your intention out there, decide what your heart compels you to have and to create, and start moving in that direction. And if you ever get into a situation where days, weeks, months have gone by and you feel like you're not making that much progress, where you kind of feel like you're one of those little vacuum cleaner robots that's malfunctioning and you're like stuck in the corner of a room just trying to drive into a corner. When those moments happen in life, that's when you need to recognize that you're actually swimming upstream and you're making things harder on yourself than they need to be. So you got to let go and let God, so to speak, and just take advantage of the opportunities as they show up in your life. And so if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the Wibia toolbar, which is on the bottom of your screen if you're watching this video on my website, and click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located in the Wibia toolbar. And if you have a question that you'd like to ask me or a topic that you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab, which is on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs detailing your situation. Just give me several days to get back to you with a detailed response. And if you'd like to talk to me personally by scheduling a phone coaching session so I can help you with your specific situation or challenge, click the Products tab at the top of your screen and just follow the instructions for signing up for a paid phone coaching session. And I'll talk to you soon.